Dolly Rebecca Parton was born on the 19th of January 1946 in Sevier County, Tennessee, one of 12 children raised in a one-room cabin in the Smoky Mountains, in the kind of poverty people write songs about. She wrote one. It was called Coat of Many Colors. She graduated high school in 1964, and the very next day, she got on a bus to Nashville. She was 18, and on her actual first day in the city, she went to do her laundry at a place called the Wishy Washy, and a young man in a white Chevrolet pulled up and started talking to her. His name was Carl Dean. He was 21. She remembered it the rest of her life. "We had the car radio on," she said. "I don't remember what it was playing, but it was loud and it was rock and roll." 2 years later, in May of 1966, they married in a tiny ceremony across the state line in Ringgold, Georgia. She was 20. He ran an asphalt paving company. And what happened next is one of the strangest arrangements in the history of celebrity. Dolly Parton became the most famous woman in country music. She wrote around 3,000 songs, won 11 Grammys, and sold over 100 million records. She wrote Jolene. She wrote 9 to 5. She wrote I Will Always Love You, which Whitney Houston turned into one of the biggest records ever made. She built a theme park in her hometown. She gave away millions of books to children who couldn't afford them. And through every single bit of that, Carl Dean stayed home. He never wanted any part of it. In 59 years of marriage, he saw his wife perform live exactly one time. His last public photograph was taken in 2019 outside a post office in Brentwood, Tennessee. And according to People magazine, it was the first time he'd been photographed in public in 4 decades. 4 decades. Dolly Parton had to periodically deny rumors that her husband didn't exist. She explained it across 50 years of interviews, and the explanation never changed. In 1977, he's sort of shy and quiet. What we have together is so sweet and good that I never wanted to get jumbled up with the other. And near the end, more simply, he was very independent and he liked being alone. He didn't really care about being with anybody but me. He was kind of a loner, which worked out best for us. They renewed their vows on their 50th anniversary, and then on the 3rd of March, 2025, Carl Dean died. He was 82. His cause of death was never released, which, if you knew anything about him, was exactly right. Dolly's statement was 7 words at its heart. Words can't do justice to the love we shared. 3 days later, she posted again. "This is a love note to family, friends, and fans," she wrote. "He is in God's arms now, and I am okay with that. I will always love you." But she was not okay, and within months, the world started to find out why. Because here's the thing Dolly admitted later, and it is the hinge of this entire story. While Carl was sick, and he was sick a long time, she stopped looking after herself. Her own words, "Back when my husband Carl was very sick, that was for a long time. And then when he passed, I didn't take care of myself. So I let a lot of things go that I should have been taken care of." She let a lot of things go. In September of 2025, she postponed her Las Vegas residency, her first in 32 years. Her doctors, she said, told her she needed a few procedures. And she made a joke of it, the way she made a joke of everything. "It must be time for my 100,000-mile checkup, although it's not the usual trip to see my plastic surgeon." Then her sister Frida asked fans to pray for her, and the internet did what the internet does. So in October, Dolly filmed a video and captioned it, "I ain't dead yet. I know lately everybody thinks I'm sicker than I am," she said, looking straight down the lens. "Do I look sick to you?" And then, "I'm not ready to die yet. I don't think God is through with me, and I ain't done working." In November, she gave a magazine cover interview and said something that, reading it now, is very hard to take. "Without Carl," she said, "I wouldn't be here." And about losing him, most people don't stay that close that long. That's a loss. Nobody can ever know that unless you've experienced it yourself. Then came March of 2026, opening day at Dollywood. She stood up to speak and told the crowd she'd been, in her words, worn down and worn out. She'd had a few little health issues, she said, and they were taking good care of them. And then Dolly Parton made a joke about dying that nobody laughed at for very long afterwards. "I think Carl Dean's waiting for me," she said. "If I should show up at the pearly gates with somebody else, he would not like that. He'd be saying, 'Who's that little pisser? You leave him outside the gates.'" 2 months later, in May, she canceled the residency altogether. She said she was responding well to treatment and that her doctors had told her everything was treatable. She got emotional talking about the year of firsts without Carl, and she kept working from home, on Dollywood, on her museum, on her Broadway musical. She was not slowing down because she wanted to. On the 14th of August, she canceled an appearance at Dollywood to open a new attraction, sending a video message instead. "I've told you before, all my fans, that I have had a few little health issues," she said, "and sometimes I get a little dizzy and I get dehydrated." Her doctor had told her not to travel. That was 11 days before she died. On Friday, the 21st, she gave an interview to People magazine and admitted she'd been having hard times with her health, things she simply had not been able to deal with while Carl was dying. She was admitted to the hospital that same day. 4 days later, on Tuesday, the 25th of August, Dolly Parton died at the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center in Nashville, surrounded by the people she loved. Her team statement said she had bravely faced a brief battle with cancer. She was 80. Years ago, Dolly Parton called her nephew and asked him to do something for her. His name is Bryan Seaver. He's the son of her sister Cassie, and for years, he worked as her head of security, the same job his father did before him. Protecting Dolly Parton was, literally, the family business. And she asked him, "When the time comes, you're the one who tells them." On the 25th of August, 2026, a video appeared on Dolly Parton's own Instagram account. And in it, Bryan Seaver said this: "This video announcement is something Dolly asked of me years ago, before I fully absorbed it as a future reality." Then he told the world his aunt had died. And he did not call her Dolly Parton. He called her, these are his exact words, Dolly Rebecca Parton Dean. Sister, sis, granny to one generation, and Gigi to the next. Dean, her married name, the name of a man almost nobody ever saw. She was 80 years old, and to understand why she died when she did, you have to understand what happened 17 months before. Stay with me. Now, there is one more thing, and it is the reason this story is not, in the end, a sad one. Dolly Parton buried a lot of people. Her brother Floyd in 2018. He wrote Rockin' Years for her, and the family stood together and sang it at his funeral. Her brother Randy of cancer in 2021. Her brother David in 2024. Her parents long before that, and Carl. And every single time she talked about death, every time she said the same thing. Not that it was an ending, that somebody would be standing there waiting. When Randy died, she wrote that he was joined by members of the family that have gone on before and have welcomed him with joy and open arms. In March, she said Carl was waiting for her at the gates. And on the 25th of August, in the video she had asked him to make years before he ever wanted to think about making it, Bryan Seaver told the world that his aunt had been, in his words, surely met by Carl and her parents. He gave her the answer to her own joke. More than 10 years ago, an interviewer asked Dolly what song she wanted at her funeral. She didn't hesitate. There's an old country gospel song, she said, called If We Never Meet Again, about how if we never meet again this side of heaven, I will meet you on that beautiful shore, where the roses bloom forever and separations come no more. That was my daddy's favorite, she said. We did sing it at his funeral, and I would like it to be sung at mine. A girl from a one-room cabin, one of 12, who met a quiet man outside a laundromat on her first day in Nashville and kept him 59 years while the whole world watched her and never once saw him. She spent 17 months telling everybody she wasn't finished. Then she went to find him. If this story moved you, stay with us. There are more like it here. the voices you grew up with, and the lives behind them.